Okay, nice to be here. It's a great pleasure. And also, I think this kind of situation happening that we are meeting each other is very good. We should have, if not every month, at least every half a year, this kind of setting. And why I think that I'm representing one of those, if not bad guys, but anyway, bureaucratic guys who are using those fancy technologies and trying to lose taxpayers' money. But I hope I can convince you that we are creating a lot of health also with this business. But I think we can solve, of course, all problems we have in the collaboration, in the panel discussion. I think one take-home message should be that quite often I hear that Auria Biobank is a problem. It's under my unit, and then there is so bureaucratic to make deals with Tyks or Turku University, etc. I would like to say, like former President Trump, just call me or call someone, because I think many of those are fake news. We should discuss those things through, and I would like to say that Auria Biobank is the top biobank in the, if not whole world, at least in Finland, and there are very active and eager people to make research there, and in that sense I try to convince you. I put that scale word there because I think it's something we have been working huge during the COVID pandemic. It was quite nice situation 1 week back. A journalist lady from Yle Turku called me and asked, can she make an interview about monkeypox? And I said, okay, go ahead, because our monkeypox specialists were not, they were on leave. And the first question was, why are you developing diagnostics for monkeypox? It was so surprising, I couldn't say anything else. It's our work. It's like you go to the emergency room and ask, why are you treating this patient today? Because he came inside here. And that's the oh no, here we go. One thing I try to say that we are there in the front line. We are also the investigation unit of the whole situation. Without microbiology or laboratory, they cannot make anything. I could tell a lot of stories about what happened during the nurse strike, but maybe the most striking thing was that the whole business in that Turku University Hospital stopped completely because laboratory and radiology went down. And I said to all my colleagues there in Tyks johtoryhmä steering committee that, can I have that written, that you are so fear, because nothing, you cannot treat anybody in that kind of units. And in that sense, I think diagnostics, both imaging and laboratory, is a core, one of the core things in the whole health business, not some supporting, like many also in the lab field would like to say, because it's again another political story. But here we go. We have a very nice building, a new building. Okay, I lost a few years because of COVID, like many of us, but 2018 it was a brand new building, this Medicina D, and then we have our automation lab there in the emergency department, or next to that in T hospital. I don't find that pointer, but that's no problem. And this is the schematic structure. Was it so that we must not drop down? Okay, and many of you might talk about Tyks Lab. Okay, it's nice. Many of us are still talking. It's actually that clinical chemistry department who changed this year its name. It's no more Tyks Lab. We decided, all of us, whether Tyks Lab, but then we decided to be according our logo and that you know, whatever it is, this written style, that it looks better to be a laboratory. And in Finnish we have that. And actually in the topic of my presentation also we are talking about laboratories, because there are many laboratories inside that unit. But one thing again to remember, there is no Tyks Lab anymore, there is Tyks Laboratories, Tyks Laboratoriot. Okay, the Department of Clinical Chemistry is our biggest one, taking care also of the county sites. Then we have a clinical microbiology lab, which I'm talking a bit more today, because the Department of Immunology is also there, and then the genomic, we use such a word in that. They are collaborating a lot of clinical genomics, perinnöllisyyslääketiede in Finnish, but yeah, it's a very prominent department in. What's happening now? I know. That was my connection. Did I do something? Hello. Maybe we can. 1, 2. Okay, now we go. Maybe that was some kind of, you know, what is that? Somebody tried to disturb our presentation. I was saying something bad, but now Department of Pathology is also very active, going to digipathology, and then I also already mentioned Aurea Biobank. I could talk so much of them, but I will skip, so that I will go through few big one big test name, meaning COVID, and then to very much to quite quickly through some immunological tests today. We have personnel of more than 500. Actually, if you take all deputies, it's close to 700. Our budget is again before COVID numbers. It's close to 70 million, but practically it's closer to 90, and we are not allowed to make any revenue. that's just you know, it just came without asking, like one primary minister once got in fact. And then number of sampling and tests is more than 7 million. It's actually 7.5 million these years. And again, one of my favorite topics when I'm talking inside of our unit or with anybody else, somebody said today already the word bulk. I can guarantee in my laboratory unit, no test is a bulk test because they are representing a patient. We have a high level quality control systems going on all the time. Actually, Aurea Biobank is one of the first biobanks in whole Europe who will get the ISO standardization in few weeks. And it's very important to understand that when you make research, every test has a meaning. Or if I'm testing something, it has a meaning. But these tests have no meaning without that patient. But because they are very important in that patient care, they are no bulk test of any of them. And it's quite difficult to understand, because bulk means that 85 or 95% is good and the rest is rubbish, but no CRP or whatever natrium kalium or COVID test in our hands, it must never be rubbish. And that's again one take-home message. Okay, we are trying to be very active in science, making some 150 publications per year, and then we have those 4 specialties and biobank. Our portfolio, it's surprisingly large. Altogether, more than 1,500 different tests in all those fields. And in clinical microbiology, we have something like 400. And I counted yesterday that in immunology, they are included in those 400, but they are close to 100 different tests. Okay, let's go further. How much I have time? Some minutes. No, wrong direction. Okay, what happened in 2020? In the very early January, one of our experts, actually that was Matti Varis, said that something is happening there somewhere in China, and then Tytti Vuorinen came 1 week later, and then we decided to start to develop this coronavirus test. And like you see, normally it's molecular biology done by hands, but then quite soon we realized this is something else, what is going on. This shows our pipeline. It's now in Finnish and very small, but we have built an in-house testing system starting from the sampling, and then actually that was the first InSight drive-in sampling in Finland, started in August 2020. And then we have that BSL-3, or this is not that lab, but facilities, some very fancy Turku site-made extraction machines, and then a lot of small things. And actually our diagnostic is so that every test will be read by a specialist doctor or microbiologist. And this is the figure how it goes. These are thousands here. Actually, there is close to 10,000 the maximum days. This is the whole pandemic era, and you can see there is quite a big differences how much tests we have done, and this yellow or whatever green line is it's the positive percentage. It shows how it goes quite nicely, that when the Omicron time started there in the November now, I haven't ever seen, and nobody never has seen such a situation that 50 to 80% of tests are positive concerning some infectious disease, because it means that you are not testing the right population. Now it has been because nobody had that capacity, and it's very good that we had that all kind of testing strategies. But yeah, it's interesting. We could discuss a lot more what we could have made different during these times, but especially if you look at starting point, there was not many tests on the market, but then also the spring and summer came. But what about if the Delta variant would have came in 2020? We would be in very bad situation during that summer, because I think many of our tests in this room were in pipeline that time. But then the end is that we have made quite many corona tests in our lab, and also, of course, many of these are commercial PCR and some antigen tests included in that figure too. Okay, how many minutes I have still? I have no 2 minutes. Yeah, that's enough. This, because it's InFLAMES meeting, and I would like to run quickly through few what is the, let's say, normal clinical laboratory. It means that we have some not bulk, again, they are large volume tests like this. Oh, no, it went already. But like this transglutaminase celiac disease tests, we are doing some 16,000 per year, and some other ones. And then we have some more specified, like this complement testing, or some lymphocyte flow cytometry test, few hundreds of them, and then COVID T cell response has been quite. There has been a big interest in some patient groups inside hospital for this, and you can see that compared that 650,000, that 50 patient has got this, and this is now yeah, even more specified ones. But then this is my last test I will show you is much more specified. We have the such an immuno 1, 2, 3 tests, which are made for a very, this is now personalized medicine, that we can customize this kind of phosphorylation tests, and we can really make what it's such an order that the clinician and the laboratory can very detailed discuss what we should look about this. And you can see the numbers during 5 years, less than 20 tests. But one important point, that also Helsinki area is buying also this testing from us. I think I will thank you, and I'm ready and willing to discuss more of all these things. Thank you.